Right, today I'm going to go through some golden rules of brackets. I'm going to go through the rules of multiplying with positive and negative numbers, or combination of the two. And we're even going to go through some brackets with some positive and negative numbers. Whenever there's a number outside the bracket, it has to be multiplied by everything inside the bracket. And this is the golden rule of bracket, that the number outside the bracket actually has an invisible times sign here. So if I was to do this sum, and let's ignore the fact that of course 1 plus 3 is 4 and 4 times 2 is 8. We know that we're going to get the number 8. Let's see if we get the number 8 when we use the rules of brackets. And the rule of brackets is multiply the number outside the bracket by everything. And here's the clue, everything inside the bracket. So it's always a two-step process when you have brackets. If you've got two numbers inside, multiplying with brackets is a two-step process. We know we take the number outside the bracket, here's a 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. So we take the number outside the bracket and multiply by the first number inside the bracket, giving us our first answer. We've now multiplied this number by the number outside the bracket, so we can finish with it. Now we take the next number that's outside the bracket. 2 times 3 is 6. And there was a plus sign here in between, so we get that to carry down. We have plus 2 times plus 3, it's going to give us plus 6 as our answer. And 2 plus 6 is 8. The most common mistake that I see when you're using brackets is you do this. 2 times, let's say 2 plus 4. We know that 2 plus 4 is 6, and we know that 2 times 6 is 12, so we're expecting 12. But when I see children multiplying by brackets, what I see them do is 2 times 2 is 4, and then it's got plus 4 here, so I add 4 plus 4, and that gives me 8. And you can see that that's totally the wrong answer, because what we should have here is 2 plus 4 is 6, and 6 times 2 should give us 12. So if you forget the golden rule and you only multiply the plus 2 by the first number inside the brackets, and then just carry this other number down, you get totally the wrong answer. And of course you can see that logically with numbers. The problem is that when we don't have numbers there, what would happen, for example, if instead of it being 2 times 1 plus 3, I had 2 times x plus 2? And what I see very, very common is you say, okay, 2 times x is 2x, great, and then I just add that plus 2 there. No, 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 no. You don't do that with brackets. You have first multiplied the 2 outside the bracket by the x to give you 2x. That's correct. You finish with the x then. You now have to multiply the 2 that's outside the bracket by the plus 2. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 4. Plus 2 times plus 2 is plus 4. So the answer to this expression, 2 times x plus 2, is 2x plus 4. The 2 is first multiplied by the x and then multiplied by the 2. So brackets is telling you multiply everything that's outside them by everything that's inside. So let's take some different examples then. What do we do then if we had negative numbers? Let's say that we had 2 times minus 1 minus 3. Well, if we think logically first, what is minus 1 minus 3? If we're at minus 1 on the temperature scale and it gets 3 degrees colder, we'd go down 3 degrees more, 1, 2, 3. We'd end up here at the temperature minus 4. So minus 1 degree minus 3 more degrees would actually be minus 4 degrees. So we'd have 2 lots of minus 4 degrees. It was minus 4 on Monday and it was minus 4 again on Tuesday. What would be our temperature on Tuesday? It would be minus 8 degrees centigrade. Okay? So 2 times minus 4 would be minus 8. We're expecting to get the answer minus 8. Let's see if we get that when we use our bracket rule properly. The first thing I do is multiply the 2 by the minus 1. 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. 2 times minus 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. So when we use our bracket rule correctly, we get minus 2 degrees. Well, we're at minus 2 now at the start. And then we go minus 6 degrees colder, we'll get minus 8. So when we use our bracket rule correctly, we get minus 8. As we would here as well. One of the other things that I see as the most common mistake when it comes to brackets is you're mixing up your multiply and divide rules with negative numbers. And there's a very simple another golden rule here in maths. And it's when the sign is the same in multiplication or division, the answer is always positive. So if I have plus 2 times plus 3, I'm going to get the answer plus 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Everybody knows that. But if I have the number minus 2 times minus 3, I have the same sign, minus number times a minus number. The golden rule is if the sign is the same, the answer is positive. So the thing that most kids get confused in is that minus number times another minus number is a positive number. And I made some videos on that, so you can just search negative number times negative number, and there's actually a mathematical proof there that shows that it's true. We won't go into that now. But then if the sign is different, so if I had 2 times minus 3, there's an invisible plus sign in front of the 2. So here we have a plus times a minus. So we have different signs. The answer is always going to be minus. If we had minus 2 times 3, there's a plus sign in front of this 3. A minus number times a plus number is always going to give us negative. So when the signs are different, the answer is always negative. And when the signs are the same, even if it's 2 minus signs, the answer is always positive. And if we're going to be able to work well with brackets, we have to remember this golden rule. Same sign, answer is always positive. Different signs, answer is always negative. So, if we were to look here, what were we doing here? Well, here, we weren't multiplying minus 1 times minus 3. There's no multiply sign here. We're saying we're at minus 1 degrees on the thermometer, and we are going 3 more degrees colder. We're going from minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, down to minus 4. So we're getting a temperature here of minus 4. So minus 1, minus 3 means we're just working on our number lines on either the positive side or the negative side. Minus 1 times plus 2 gives us the answer minus 2, because here's a little plus sign in front of this 2 we can't see. Plus times a minus is going to give us a minus answer. Plus 2 times minus 3, plus times a minus is going to give us a minus answer, and 2 times 3 is 6. Then we're adding these two negative numbers, minus 2, minus 6. We're at minus 2 on the number line, and we're going 6 degrees colder, we're going to get minus 8. One of the easiest ways to think of, some children get confused when we're adding two negative numbers. What I usually try and think of when I'm adding two negative numbers is I think, what is 6 plus 2? 6 plus 2 is 8. But instead of adding positive numbers and we're used to doing, 2 plus 6 is 8, we're actually adding negative numbers. So what will happen to my sign in front of the 8? It's going to be a minus sign because I'm working only on the negative side of the number line. So when you have two negative numbers added together, just think of adding the two numbers, 2 plus 6, and put a minus sign in the front. Okay, that gives us some golden rules with negative numbers and brackets. So we know that a plus times a plus is a plus. A minus times a minus is also a plus. A plus times a minus is a minus. And a minus times a plus is a plus. So let's use these rules to do some numbers with algebra in there. if we were to say that we had x plus 2 all multiplied by the number, let's not take 2 again, it's a bit boring. Let's take 4. So we have to simplify this expression, we have to expand the brackets. How would we do that? Well, first we'd do 4 times x to give us 4 lots of x. I've now multiplied my 4 by x, so that one can go. But I still have to multiply the 4 by the next number. 4 times plus 2 is plus 8. 4 2s are 8, and a plus times a plus gives us a plus as the answer. So now we've expanded our brackets and got this simple answer for x plus 2.